This video is brought to you by Longoni Qs.
Hi pool players, this is Terminator. Welcome back to another episode of Terminator Tips. As you can see, I'm still on the road at the European Championships here in Lasko, Slovenia, and we've played 3 disciplines so far. I had back-to-back bronze medals in straight pool and in 10 ball. I was very satisfied with my performance in the straight pool discipline. I ran 104 times in that event, 3 in a row actually, and I want to do a player review now with my commentary of 100 and out versus Sanjin. And then right after that, I'm going to draw the winner for the contest of the Mental Edge for Competitive Pool Players course. So stay tuned for that till the end. Let's jump over now to the European Championships match and listen to the player review. Here we go, pool players. The review of the 100 and out a few days ago actually versus Sanjin. Big match for me during the European Championships, straight pool. It's a discipline that I very much enjoy. I've won it 7 times and I was desperately trying to get my 8th, and I actually lost to Sanjin in the double elimination phase. Came back, qualified, drew Klosevic in the last 32, the round before this. Klosevic ran 38 after my opening break, and I managed to run 100 and out on him right after. And that set me up with this match, the revenge match versus Young Gun Sanjin, who actually went on to win the 10 ball discipline. Also beating me in the semis there. Hill match. Also available on KOZOOM. You can watch that one. Classic match. Let's check this out. I opened up the balls and the 5 ball just leaked out a bit too much. The speed of the cue ball is pretty good. But that 5, as you can see, is giving Sanjin an option straight out of the gate to go for offense. Problem is, he has a pretty big angle. He has to slow roll this if he wants to hold this perhaps under the 2 and then go into the pack. But you really have to hit this delicate. And I don't think he fancies that. He's trying to bump into the 2 and do something from there. And the result was a miss on the 5. To be honest, a lot of these young gun European players, they don't really fancy straight pool that much. They never grew up with it. It's a discipline in Europe that's unfortunately died out a bit. And the only time we really get to compete at it is during the EC, the European Championships. And there you can really see a clear difference in the arsenal of straight pool versus the other games from a lot of players. And I myself, I have to say, I'm a bit more old school. About 20 years ago, we had a really long period where we were practicing straight pool a lot, because it's the first discipline of the European Championships, and that can really set you off to a good start. Nice opening 2 shots there. That ball along the short rail, I had to hit that without any spin. Any left English would have put me straight in on that 5. I had to make sure I could stay on the inside and then with top spin, go into the pack and try to open them up. I've learned over the years personally that I don't fancy the old school straight pool style that much anymore, where you have to pick off balls. You're not allowed to go into the pack until you've picked off about 8 or 10 balls. But in my humble opinion, it's not 1960, 1970 anymore. And I myself play much better if I go into the balls quick, get them open, and then build a rhythm, pocket balls, get my arm loose, and that gets my confidence going. If I start playing too much ticky-ticky perfect pool, I get locked up, and I just get tighter and tighter, and it just doesn't work for me. Here I'm also taking a chance straight away going into those balls. Couldn't really hit them much harder because I had quite a severe angle. If I would have hit that even harder, the cue ball potentially would not have come as close to the stack as it did now. I still have a shot on the 9. I can go one rail up for the 3. And as you can see, oh, I'm hitting it harder there. I'm going to play for the 15. Or there's even a combination, I think, 13-7. The 8 ball's a nice breaker, as you can see right now. So the problem that's on the table, I would say the only one is the 1 and 3. And I can use that 10 ball. I think there was a little glitch there in the recording. We missed the 10 ball, that went pretty quick. I'm watching this and the 10's already gone. I was going to say that the 10 ball I could use to come off the rail and then play for that 3 and 1, as I've done now. I don't want to disturb this 8. That's the key, pool players. That 8 is laying so good. Sometimes if you draw off this 1, then you knock out the 8. So I'm going through these balls, making sure I stay away from the 8 ball. And actually, I've created another break shot with the 13. So now I have even more options. That sometimes can get a little bit confusing. The 6 ball is not a bad key ball either. If I get straight on the 6 on either side, I always stay above my break shot, and that is not bad. I'm thinking here I'm going to play for the 13, then the 1, then the 6. I'm fooling myself here, guys. I thought I would play 13, 1, 6, 8. Let's see here. This is about 6 days ago. So my memory is slowly slipping away from me. I'm playing 8, 1, 6, and then to about the middle of the table for a nice shot on that 13, I believe it is, or 15. Here you get a nice view. Middle of the table would give me a really nice angle. I can do two things. I can probably draw this in slowly or go off the long rail and then that way towards the 6. And these shots close to the kitchen, pool players, are really, really nice key balls. Don't overlook those. You can do a lot of things with them. Go off the rail, draw it back like this, go forward. That's the first rack on the board. 14 points. And with these next to the rack break shots, you're going to see me take a look at the tangent line. The tangent line is the 90-degree angle that the cue ball is going to take after it contacts the object ball. And I use my cue to make one part of that 90 degree, and then I take that line, and with the other side I'm going to take the other part of the 90-degree angle, and there I see the cue ball is going to hit the 6 on the high side. And I'm going to post a link here to the video. That means I'm going to hit this ball with a middle ball, and that way I can control the cue ball fairly well. With a stun shot there I could have scratched, and with a middle ball I get some really nice action here. Again, I want to try and stay in the open. Here, if I can potentially hit the 6, or I'm playing this with a tip of inside. No, I'm playing it aggressive. See, I'm not babying those shots. I want to get it into the open. Try to hit a few balls there. That's the only thing that went haywire. And you see, there's two problems now in this rack. The 5 and 6 are still tied up. The 10 is blocking that pocket. And the 11, 1, and 4 are still tied up. I could make a potential 4-11 combo, but I have to get deep under there by the short rail. The 1-11 combo doesn't go. I'm opting to play this shot in the corner, then play the 14. Then get down for the 12 on that long rail there. And then do some damage with the 8 ball. I'm looking at the combo now. It's looking pretty tricky. I'm afraid that if I carom off the 4, that the 11 is going to go high. From this angle, it doesn't look like it's missable actually. But when I was at the table there, I didn't really trust it. So I want to go 14, 12 and then do something with the 8. If I get high on the 8, like draw it a bit above the 15, then I can pocket the 8 and draw into the 4. I always have a safety with the 9. So in case I get a bit stuck, I have the 9 ball. What I could also do is roll it in and then play the 8 and go into that 5, 6, and 2. So let's see here. 2 options. I think I'm gonna roll it in. See, now you see if I hit that 1 onto the 11, that it might just hit the point. It's a bit funky. Can roll in this 12. I'm always gonna have the 8. Ah, I remember now. I'm going into them straight away. I had a really nice straight angle. I knew I was gonna have the 9 there. Just make contact and open them up. That was a nice little result of those 3 balls. Still having one problem with this 5, 6, and I don't have a great break shot yet. So I want to get to that 8 ball as fast as I can. I'm a bit afraid here. I can't really hit it on the thin side, this 11, so I'm afraid I'm going to stick there under the 1. That's why I'm opting to get out of there quick and now play the 1 and then the 8 ball. That way I still have the 4 as a safety valve in case I get stuck there in between the 5 and 2. And as you can see here, if I land in between the 5, 2, the 5 should go off the 6 and then towards the long rail for a potential nice break shot. So that's the pattern I'm seeing here. There, it's even going off the 10. Now everything's wide open. And you see this 6 and 5, those are beautifully connected. The 2 is probably the only thing that could go haywire here because it has less pockets than all the other balls. The 4 and 9, 10, 4, 9 are all connected. I'm thinking here 15, 6 or 4, 6 as my last balls. Because those want to be played for the 6. And a stop shot on the 6 gives me a nice breaker on the 5. So I'm going for, that was the 2 ball. Then I can go 10. 9, 4, 15, 6. Could have actually played the 15 here. These pockets at the Europeans, they play so big. I could have done 15 there, 9, 4, 6. But here, 4, 15, 6 is also fine. Ah, I'm seeing what I'm seeing now. The 5 is laying too low. So I'm playing 5, 4, and then 15, going 2 rails from the 4 ball in between the rail, the long rail, and then bounce just slightly up for a nice inside angle. From this line, it looked like that 5 was available, but it wasn't. You can see the rack on the table. Pointing my cue stick there. I want to stay inside that angle of the rail and the object ball. So you don't want to get straight in, so don't use too much spin on these shots. I'm also going to post a link with the most common key balls. That was a really classic key ball. And now you see I have a beautiful angle on the inside of a parallel line. If the cue ball would be 1.5 balls more to the right, that would be parallel to the 15. If you stay on the left of that, as you look at the screen now, it's on the inside of parallel. And that way, it gives you a lot of freedom. You can hit this ball when you're close to it with topspin. You can really blast this ball. You have a lot of freedom in your mind. You're going through the rack. Hit this with a good positive stroke. Boom. And that is lovely straight pull. The old timers would maybe say, you hit that way too hard. Yep, but that's modern straight pull these days. Get them open and get running. In my humble opinion. Again, you see, I'm not babying around. I want to get the balls open as quick as possible. And now it's like as if I'm playing 8-ball instead of straight pull. I have a great break shot already on the 6. And this way, pool players, you can just pick off the balls. And you're going to have a lot more fun than cracking your brain with all these puzzles. This way, you can build momentum. You can build confidence. And you actually feel like a pool player. Getting a small problem out of the way there. Shot on the 11. There's so many options here. Doesn't really matter that much what you do here. The 13-2 is a slight problem, but also a nice end game. If you can land fairly straight on the 13, you automatically have position for the 2. And then going to the 6. Want to open up the line here. You see I can take the 4, I can take the 9. It's not really a big deal, pool players. Like in the old times, you had to play perfect patterns all the time. That's how I played for a long time straight pool. Brought me a lot of success at the Europeans, but I feel this way. I ran 300s in a row this tournament. I've never done that before, and there was actually another 100-ball run, so 4 runs of 100 in one event. And that's probably the best straight ball I've ever played at an EC. I lost to Joshua in the semi-final eventually, with a run of 87 also. Nice match, so I came close to another title. But my argument is that you don't have to play picture perfect straight pool if the balls are open fast. See, I can play the 5 here. I want to use the 3 as a blocker for the cue ball. Careful with the speed. Hit that a bit careless. Almost tied up the 3 and 6. So I have to make a slight recovery here. Still waiting with that 13-2 as my end game. And what I'm seeing here, if I can almost stop this ball here, I can play off the rail. Let's see. No, I came too far. I wanted to go 2 rails out of the short rail and long rail, stay under the 12 and then roll forward for the 13 in the side or corner and then the 2, but I came too straight in. Now I have to make a correction. I'm going to draw it straight back into the kitchen and then 13, 2, bounce off the rail and then straight in for that last stripe for stop shot for the 6. So I have to let my stroke out here. Just have enough angle to play with a touch of left off the rail and still be able to play the 2. Looking at the angle if I had to potentially bump into the 2 ball. But when I walk back, I could see that with a lot of left. Nope, I'm fooling myself again. My memory's letting me down, boys and girls. Try to get straight in on this ball. That's the key. When you start playing straight pool, this is the frustrating part of the game because you run balls and you get towards your end game and your cue ball and cue ball speed is not quite good enough yet where you can run out those remaining balls with confidence. You get out of line, you get funky, and you don't run the racks. But this is just the normal process, pool players. That is just something you have to go through. That's the training of your speed and touch, and that will get better with time. Straight pool's a great game to develop your touch, patterns. And the current run is 42. You can see Torsten Homan behind Sanjin. He's playing Joshua there in the last 16. Here again, I'm using that tangent line system, checking out where I'm going to hit the rack, which ball. If I'm going to land in between two balls, I'm going to draw it. If I'm going to hit a ball full in the face, I'm going to stun it. And if I hit the high side, I'm going to use a middle ball. And also if I hit the low side, like such, I'm going to draw it firm. I want to hit it positive, open up the balls. And that's what I really, really enjoy about straight pool. If I can let my stroke out on those shots, open up the rack, and get going again. I play the 12 into the 15. You see, that's the example. In 2 shots, I have virtually opened up the entire game, except the 3 and 8. I have to do a small little separation on those 2 balls. But I still have 3 balls there down table, the 10, 11, and 9. So I have good options. Could also do with the 2, because the 13, as you can see, is also a break ball. The 4 is even a break ball. With the 7, again, one of those shots where if you land on the inside, that's also fine. So it's just here about committing to which ball you're going to take. The 10 is a fairly easy solution here because it's blocking the pocket for almost 5 balls on the right side of the table. I want to get that out of the way. And I chose straight away with the 10 to open up that pattern, or cluster, I should say. And within 3 shots, now the entire rack is open. And you can imagine then that style of play is going to give you a lot more fun. But it's personal preference. I'm not saying that that is the way you should play. But on this equipment, you can certainly take a bit more risk on your shot making. I'm going to take the 9 out of there. Open up the balls again. Get into the open. I have the 5 there. I have a potential nice out here with the 4-1 and then the 14 in the side, playing that for the 2. I really like that. The 5, I can play off the rail here for the 15, because that is a ball that only goes in this pocket. So I could play 15, then take that other stripe next to it out, the 13, I believe. I'm going to draw into the 14, yeah. So now 13, 3, 11, 7, 4, 1 or 1, 4, and then the 14. This is a nice little pattern here. And those shots also, that stun run, that comes up all the time in straight pool. You will get much better at those shots for your rotation games, your 8-ball games. Some stun off the rail. And now I have total freedom. Just draw this back slightly for an angle on the 1. 1 to the 4. Make sure you come off the rail enough. And then once more you come off the rail and towards the 14, and it's a stop shot to finish. Here it is. Small draw shot to where the cue ball is now. It's a nice little end pattern. Classic straight pull. Stop shot here. The way I look at it, maybe just roll it in very gently. No, stop shot would do the trick. And again, I'm next to that rack. And you can see if you get a nice rhythm going, create some momentum, create a lot of confidence. It's just a great feeling if you're running a lot of balls in straight pool. 56 current run. Here comes the system again. There's the first leg of the tangent line. There's the second one. I believe I'm going to hit the 6 rather full in the face the way I'm reading it here. Just checking if it's frozen. And there with a stun shot. Yeah, if you hit this ball too soft, you get stuck in the rack. See, there's not much movement, but you have to hit it with some force to get it out of there. That's the key. If you would have hit that ball half speed, you would be stuck in the rack with no shot. So here I can play the 10, 1, 11, potentially. And we can already start thinking about how we can reopen this rack. I'm seeing good things with the 7 and 6. I just have to take the 3 ball out of the equation. That's in the way. Looking at an angle on the 8. I'm play the 11 first and the 8. I could also, again, if I can get my hand in there off the rail and get into that pitcher's glove of 14, 5, 13. The way I look at it on the overview, I really like my chances on that one. I have the 8 and 3 as safety blockers, or safety valves, I should say. See, I get a bit stuck there, but the 8 is to the rescue, and the 4. And when you open those balls up to the top of the table, they're usually going to spread out really nicely. I can play 4. Then the 6 or the 14. Am I going to let my stroke out? Yeah, I'm going around the table for the 12. Instead of babying it, I'm taking away the risk of a bad contact. Instead of rolling that ball, I'm getting a potential skid or kick. I'm going 3 rails around. Many good options there. Could have had the 6. So don't be too afraid. Here, the 9 is open. Just draw into the 14, so the 15 also opens up then. 8 ball. From the 8, I can play a ball to the top. The 5 is my breaker. So I'm looking, if I play a stop shot, I have the 6 in the side. If I draw it back slightly, I have the 7. I have to take care of this 3 ball rather quick, because if I don't get rid of the 3, then that 13 doesn't go in that corner. So I'm playing this for the 7. Potentially 7, 6, 3. Let's see. You have to be careful here. This is where it can bite you. Yeah. I need to get rid of this 3 quick now. And then also still that 13. So I'm going to do 6, 3. Then go around the balls. Potentially 14. Then the 3. No. 6, 3. 14. 13. And then my key ball potentially would be the 15 to the 5. That's what I remember. I remember doing the 6-3 here and going around for the 14. The 13's kind of, it's a sneaky little shot. You have to play a little one pocket there. Weighing off my options. Also big moment in the match because I'm on a 65 plus run. I don't want to let Sanjin to the table. In my last match, I opened up with 56, blasted the break ball in, and the cue ball followed it off the stack into the same pocket. And I ended up losing that match. So I'm feeling I'm in sort of the same position right now with a 65 ball run, sort of. And I want to stay in control. I want to really focus on closing out this match and not letting Sanjin to the table in this version of our match. So careful here. 3-14. High left. $13. Could also play 14, 15, 13. The 13 as my key ball. Coming one rail out for the 7. Or is it the 5? Let's see in a minute. The 5. I think it's laying too sharp. I'm doing 13, 15. Both options could work. See, I'm looking where I need to be coming off the long rail here after pocketing the 13 to get back into the open. Play the 15 in the other corner. And drawing back towards the middle of the table. It's not a bad key ball, pool players, because you can go off the rail. If you end a bit too far there, about a couple balls too far, you can go with some follow, 2 rails out of the corner. This way you can draw it. And again, I'm on that side of the table for a breaker. Just under hit it. Slightly frustrated. I hit it a bit too soft, and now I don't have that much angle on this 5. Pivotal moment in the match, because now I'm on 70. This is really where you want to strike hard if you have a good breaker. Running the next rack means you're on 84. And if you blow this, it still gives hope to your opponent. Again, looking where I need to hit this ball. Zoned in. In case you're wondering why on earth I'm wearing an orange shirt, that's because the national color of Holland is orange. Our first king was Willem van Oranje, which means Willem van Orange. Long, long time ago. And therefore the color has stuck with us also in other sports. If you watch football, other really team sports, orange has always been the national color for Holland. Team NL's written on our backs. We get great support from the government for over 20 years already. It's been a massive help in my career. Very fortunate with that. I have a shot on the 3 here. Nice control on the break shot again, opening up a lot of balls. With some stun, I'm gonna go E. Yeah, I was trying to hit one of those balls, play for the 2. And then again, can I, with the 2, play for the 7 and go into them? The only thing that I'm looking at now is that 13-8. They're still tied up. I might play around them now. There. Get one of those out of the way. So then, if I play the 13 or the 7 or the 9 and go into the stack, I have that 8 as a safety. So there was a little 1 pocket. Going around those balls. If I just nudge the 8 here, I still have the 7. The angle's a bit sharper than the overhead shows us. Coming off the ball quite hard. See, that angle was sharper than it looked. Now, because I'm stuck on the rail, I can't really go into the balls anymore. I'm going to try and bump the 1 here. And then with the 9, go into them. The only problem I have is this 12, 14, 15, and I want to get rid of those fast. I do not want to wait till the end and then mess up an angle and mess up my run. I want to get into them, take a chance. And that was the risk I was willing to take. I still have a shot on the 10. Could have potentially played for the 10 ball on the side, then the 1, and then open them up. Wouldn't have been a bad option the way I looked at it now on the screen. I think in my mind at that moment I thought the 1 was already a great breaker. So I learned something there. Could have taken one more shot. It was easy position, but recovered with a nice long one on the 10. Back in business. So I'm not saying I should have played out the entire rack and then go into the cluster. I saw a pretty easy way of taking that risk factor out of getting stuck there by going 10 in the side and then the 1. I think the balls could have also opened up very nicely. From the overhead cam, it's sometimes much easier than standing at the table. And this here is also classic straight pool where you have balls on a line. You can take any combination you want. If you finish, for example, 6, 12, 1 or 1, 6, 8, or you could finish 8. No, I already mentioned that. I mean, if you get 3 balls on the line there, you can use them all to go to one another. So here I'm doing 4, 1, 6, 8. See? Thinking if I just draw this back about 2 balls, I can go off the rail, I can draw it straight back. Picking up the pace here. Going off the rail. Just a little mental support pointing on the table where you want it, that helps your subconscious brain to find a solution how to get there. It's like as if you're telling the computer, that's where I need to be. Just do it. Because you've done it many, many times, rolling off the rail and getting to that certain spot in all games. Current run 84. Something went wrong with the score there. With the computer, the current run is 84. Again, side to the rack break shot. Go check out that video with that system. That's going to help you a ton with straight pool. The way I look at it here, I'm going to hit the low side of the 9. So I'm going to draw this one. And I'm going to hit the smacker out of it, pool players. Zip. Woo! Came close to the scratch there, but that's why I drew it. To draw it out of the scratch. Bit crazy there with the finishing result of the cue ball. Going 2 rows back into the stack. But I have a nice combination 4-13. If I make that ball I have the 2 in the corner. That's what I'm looking at now. I can make that combo, but if I get stuck on the 1, what do I have there? What do I have then? Potentially the 14 in the side, 2 in the corner. I don't want to land right on top of the 1. That's suicide. Just pointing at a spectator in the crowd. There was a phone conversation in the crowd. I had to tell a gentleman to please turn the phone off. So current run about 85. Calling the 13. Made that combination. Bit hampered for the 14 in the side. I have the 2 in the corner. Or a potential combination 111. Pockets are playing rather generous. That wouldn't be a bad shot either. 2 ball might be a bit less risky than the combo because I have to cut the combination. That's going to put some throw on the 1 to the 11. Might throw the 11 offline. It's very tempting because if I make this ball, then I can play the 4 next, go into those balls. That's what I was thinking. But as I recall it, in the end, I'm not playing that combo. I think it was too risky, especially at this closing phase of the game. And I know when I play this 2 ball in the corner, from that angle, the pocket plays rather big. As long as you hit that inside of the rail there, the long rail, the pocket really accepts the ball very well. So that was the option I was going for. I have the 5 now in the side. Still have some problem there with these 4 balls. Looking how I can solve that. If I can cut the 11 in, I can go into the balls. Potentially after the 5 and then, for example, the 15. Get back down. I see a nice option here, pool players. We can go 5, play for the 15, then go down and play the 111. So here I can play 15, 12, then 111, and then either with the 1 or the 4 go into those balls. See, normally I would want to go into them quicker, but there's just no way to do it because this 1, 11, 4 is blocking each other. I need to make a combination to get those balls out of the way. So I'm rolling this forward. Going for the 12 next, and then the combo, and then want to go into them ASAP. Sometimes maybe, just a tip, if you can land really nice on the combo, you can go into the balls with the combo already. So if you just lay it under there, for example, a bit risky in this example here, but if the cue ball would have been potentially 2 balls more forward, then you could also go into the balls that way with an easy combo, for example. This wasn't the case this time, but keep that in mind. I'm on the 1 now. The 4 again is my safety valve. Keep that in mind also, pool players. That's the one that's going to save you if you get stuck. Bit of high left and the 4 next. You see, balls open up beautifully there. I have the 4. I have the 3, 14, 10 as my end game for a shot on the 9, I would think. So here, if I get around these balls, I can go, it's going to be a different pattern. I think I tried to play for the 6 there. 6, 7, what was my plan there? 6, 7, and then 3, 4, yeah, then off the rail for the 3. That went a little haywire, hit that just slightly too soft, but the 7's also laying good. So I can go 9, 6, 3, 14, 10 and roll the 10 in. There. Opting to draw it for the 3. That 3, 14, 10 is a charm that's just laying there waiting to be discovered. See? Stun it in, roll it in, whatever you like. Let's get off the rail, straight in on the 10, rolled forward. And you're on the 7. And then you're only 2 away. And what's really interesting, pool players, with this end of the match, this is a hidden bit of knowledge that you can gain from. In my experience over 25 years of straight pool, if you need only 2 more balls or 3 more balls, for example, now, the mistake that people make is they baby this break ball and they want to get just 2 or 3 balls out and close it that way. I've seen so many people get stuck in the rack with a negative stroke, a negative mindset on that shot. Play it like you've played all the other break shots. Take that chance to open up the balls. Don't take half the speed off because you need 1 more. Because if you get stuck on the rack, you're gonna have a nightmare the rest of the evening. Because you were there, you had it for the taking, and you put yourself in the rack. It's not bad luck. You put yourself in that rack because you babied it. I'm gonna play this with a positive stroke. Boom. I need 1 more ball, but that's how I've been hitting that break shot the whole match. And I've put myself in this position with a positive stroke. 100 and out. High five from Sanjin. He goes on to win the 10-ball discipline. Hope you enjoyed that. Secret little knowledge there in the end, especially with that final breaker. The next match was 107 and out versus Petri. And then, unfortunately, I lost to Joshua in the semis, 125 to 100. So nice 3rd place. On to the next. Okay guys, here we go for the second part of the video. Now we're gonna draw the winner for the contest. Let's find out. I'm gonna take the camera off, show you the computer screen, and we're gonna pick the winner right here, right now. All right, here we go. With the help of TubeBuddy, pick a winner. Let's find out. You had to put in your full name, and it's David Decker. David Decker, guys, you have won the mental edge for competitive pool players. Many congratulations. Let's switch back to the camera in the front again. There, the camera's back in position again. David, congratulations. I'm gonna contact you. For all you other guys who are interested in the course, this week, after launch day today, I'm gonna do 20% off. Check out the link in the description. Head over to terminatorcollege.com. Use the coupon and you can get 20% off the main course this week. So jump on that. Also, don't forget to check out all the other great content on the channel, pool players. There's tips and lessons here uploaded weekly, especially for you. Check them out, learn from them, please share them, and I will see you in the next episode. Hit them good.